Hello, my name is Joe Thornton, and currently live in Barnesville, Ohio. And for this assignment, we are to talk about a life-changing event. And I would have to say for me, the biggest life-changing event that I have experienced happened probably 5 years ago. And I was in law enforcement for about 17 years, and I was a full-time police officer. And I started feeling God calling me into the ministry. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It wasn't something that I had ever thought would be a good idea to even try. And so I put it off and I put it off and I fought it. And God and I spent a lot of time arguing over the fact that this is something that I needed to do. And one night I was sitting on my couch and was watching TV, and God started on me again about the ministry. From the time I woke up till the time I went to bed, it's all I thought about. And the more I fought it, the more miserable I started to become in law enforcement. And I just kept asking God to make me happy, give me a little bit of peace, give me a little bit of joy. And that night when I was sitting on the couch, it just kind of hit me that God's not going to give me peace and joy doing something that He doesn't want me to do. And that night I submitted totally to God and His will to go into ministry. And He started to open up doors right away with classes here at Liberty, and just many other opportunities started to present themselves. And the more I started getting involved with ministry and schooling, I just knew that God was telling me it was time to leave law enforcement. And so the hardest thing I've ever done in my life was type up a letter of resignation from the police department. And I really had nothing lined up. I wasn't sure what to do, what I would be doing, but I just knew that it was time to go. And so I did it, and I typed up my letter of resignation, and I left law enforcement. And at my church, they made me the associate pastor there. And so I worked at the church for a while, and the pastor of the church retired in, I believe it was August 31st of 2015. And the church voted to make me the full-time senior pastor of the church. And I started here September 1st. And probably the biggest thing that I learned, from this event, from starting into ministry and leaving my job in law enforcement, was to just trust God. Trust Him, trust His will. If you can sense God in anything, you need to move, you need to do it. And it's just like Peter when he stepped out on the water. A lot of people take from that you keep your eyes focused on God, and you don't focus on the situation, you keep focused on God. But what I took away from that now, looking back over some of these events that have happened in my life, is at least Peter got out of the boat. I'm sure these other 11 people that he was in the boat with wasn't real encouraging and telling him what a great idea it would be. But he put his fear aside, he trusted God, and he stepped out of the boat. And that is what I take away. That's the lesson that I take away from this event, is don't be afraid to step out of the boat. There's no safer place than to step out into the will of God. And you're never going to find peace or happiness apart from Him. So don't be afraid to follow God's will.